All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Thursday morning. Everybody got me? We good to go here? Let me get all situated. We are in some of the outer bands of the hurricane right now. So it's 20 minutes ago it was pitch black and pouring rain. Now it's sunny. So big storm hitting the state of Florida, the Big Bend, kind of the armpit, no offense, of Florida, getting hammered. 20-foot storm surge, which is just obscene, predicted for some in the panhandle. That's just going to be devastating. I think it's going right over the capital of Florida, Tallahassee, and the upper bands are already like into the Carolinas, man. Just kind of reminds you how small we are, man. We are just we are fleas on the back of the of Mother Earth. So hopefully folks in the panhandle get out of the way. It's just sad. These storms that come do take lives, and obviously we have a elderly population down here in Florida. So hopefully people heeded the warnings to get out of the way. So okay. By jumping on the air this morning, there are only 7 Full Throttle memberships left. Those will probably go today, which is awesome. So welcome aboard to all of our new Full Throttle members. Almost everybody. There are some tire kickers that did the monthly hunters to check it out, and some monthly Full Throttles. Awesome. I guarantee you shortly you're going to email us and upgrade into the annual just to save money. But for everybody else that took the annual, good job. So welcome aboard. It was a great week of trading in our Full Throttle, man. We talked about hedges. We're going to talk about Amazon today. All sorts of good stuff. So really good week of trading. Got out of some double verticals on the Qs. We talked about Starbucks. A lot of good stuff this week, and obviously psychedelics. Speaking, this is the replay page. Welcome aboard. If this is your first brief, this is our last one, but yeah, you can watch all the replays here. All the replays are on that page right here. So yesterday's is up there, day 3, day 2's right there, and then day 1's right there. Yeah, so you can watch all the replays, and you can obviously grab your membership on that page. Kind of breaks out the 3 different memberships on this page. That's where most people end up. But this is to kick the tires of our investment club, and this is just to kick the tires of Full Throttle. The monthly Full Throttle, you don't get access to the hunters, the investment club. The app, we have an app. Here's the hunters right here, the intel and commentary thread, and then the trader alerts only thread. So meeting today, yeah. Hold on, let me get Bob this link real quick. Go to training, go to webinar. Let me, hold on. You're welcome. Yeah, it was fun. We're talking about Amazon today, but yeah, we covered a lot of ground this week, from psychedelics to tech to all right, share, copy registration link. Let me give this to Bob real quick. As you can see over here on the right, there are 332 members of the hunters. I talked about Starbucks yesterday with an Iron Condor. If we had time, we were going to talk about Chipotle, but we ran out of time. But that's what the hunters looks like. You get an app on your phone. I posted that for you, Bob, so I think you duplicated that. Okay, any questions before I put Full Throttle behind us in the rearview mirror? Full Throttle is not part of Solo Amazon. We're going to cover Solo Amazon this morning. Somebody asked earlier in the week, like, why would that be the only stock you trade? Well, you're going to find out. But let me just make sure we are on our complete schedule here. Let me just debrief Full Throttle real quick. My mission objective was to give you up-to-date intelligence briefs. I did everything from Israel to what's going on politically. I said by the end of the week, you're going to know how to trade options. You should know how to trade options. Greg, I'm going to cover that right now. That's what we're going to cover in our Solo Amazon brief today. Okay. Greg just asked the difference between Leap leaps and synthetic stock. That's what we're going to talk about. But real quick, here's what we did, man. Here was our flight schedule. Welcome aboard brief, some investing basics. We did double vertical training yesterday, and then synthetic stock we're going to do with our Amazon position today. I made an audible yesterday instead of covering synthetic stock yesterday. We're going to do it today. I asked you at the beginning of the week what you need to trade successfully. Hopefully you've seen that everything you get at Top Gun Options is what you need to trade successfully. You get training, the building block approach that we take in our options weapon school training, those 5 training sessions that you get access to. You need a tight plan. It's over there in the materials tab on your control panel. I gave you a trade plan. Every live trade brief this week, I went through a trade plan with you. I went through those 7 steps, from knowing when to get out for max profit or eject for minimum loss, to contingency plan, commit criteria. Went through the plan. You have a trade plan now. And finally, these live trade briefs are the practical application to all of this stuff. Okay, so this is what you need to trade successfully. I know it. Been doing this for a long time, and this is exactly what you need. So Top Gun Options, on the training side of the fence, we're going to cover solo Amazon today. The past 3 days, we covered our full throttle training. On the execution side, once you kind of know what you're doing, we have investment clubs. You can get access to the hunters, either with the Hunters Monthly or the annual membership. And then Max Afterburners, our lifetime membership. We can talk about that down the road at some other time. Okay, so in the training arm, today we're going to cover solo Amazon. Remember, full throttle, we already covered. You get your 5 training sessions and the live trade briefs Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, so now I'm going to shift over to solo Amazon, folks, the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Okay, so let me just start. I call this trading the Death Star. Okay, the Death Star. If you got Star Wars nerds like me, or you grew up, I was a kid when Star Wars came out. You know the Death Star, right? The giant space station. It's a moon, size of a moon, taking over the universe. That's the stock. That's what Amazon is doing. It takes over everything it touches or destroys it, which is what you want to be bullish on, right? And I ask people when I do this solo Amazon presentation, I'm at Top Gun Options. I'm a fighter pilot. I ask them, given a choice of these 2 examples, which one would you pick to fly in combat? And you don't have to know anything about aviation or fighter jets to make a choice, right? What's this have to do with trading? Everything. Trading is a form of combat, folks. If you don't know that, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get their ass handed to them. So why wouldn't you use the same tools and techniques in trading that I used in combat scenarios, right? So which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Take a look at that picture. Okay, just as an F-18 Hornet pilot, looking at this picture makes my hands tremble. It doesn't even compute to me. Over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. This aircraft is an F-4 Phantom. The pilot, a very labor-intensive aircraft, a lot of heads down in the cockpit looking at all this stuff, right? Instead of eyeballs out of the cockpit looking for surface air missiles or MiGs. Enemy aircraft or AAA, anti-aircraft artillery. Look at that. Oh, you're still looking at the, sorry about that, wrong picture. There you go. There it is. That's the F-4 Phantom. Okay. That's what the cockpit looks like. Matter of fact, this jet was so complicated, folks, you actually needed somebody else in the back seat to help you run the radar, right? A very labor-intensive aircraft. So that's your first choice. You have 2 choices to pick. Would you fly this one in the combat or this one? 2 flat panel displays. Does anybody see any steam gauges in this cockpit? Not one, right? This is the F-35, the Lightning II. I call it the Wonder Woman jet. It's invisible to radar, folks. You can't see it. This jet is so advanced that it is actually learning what the pilots are doing. Well, at this point in the flight, the pilot looked at that, or they selected this, and it's getting really creepy because they're going to replace the pilots. But clearly, at the end of the day, in a combat environment, 2 flat panel displays or 300 switches and dials. Clearly, this is the aircraft you'd want to fly in combat. What's this have to do with trading? Everything. But let's start with this first. excuse me, this isn't going to shock many of you. It might shock some of you, but I'll just go with this. You ready? You've been lied to, and this is going to shock you or it's not going to shock you. Wall Street's lying to you. Okay, whiz, duh. About what? How many of you have heard since day one of investing, right? I want to learn how to trade or invest. You got blasted with a shotgun to the face with this sentence. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Show of hands, how many of you have heard that? Can't put all your eggs in one basket, Wiz. You must diversify. Diversification is important. The 5 tips to diversify. They froth at the mouth that you have got to diversify. It's an absolute lie. Who's telling you to diversify? This guy. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you use the word broker, whether it's stock, real estate, aircraft, delete the word broker and insert the word commission. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called churn. It's an industry practice, ladies and gentlemen. You ever see the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, or even the movie Wall Street? Bud Fox. All right, let's get all the little old ladies in tennis shoes out of the stock we got them in yesterday and into this new hottest stock. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. They make money off, say it with me, commissions. They want you in and out of as many names as possible. Churn, commission. They want you to diversify. Okay, now, before any smarty pants over here in the chat box says, well, Wiz, you're not the smarty pants. I trade at Robinhood, or I trade at a discount broker. I don't pay a commission. Hey, genius, if you're not paying anything, you're not the customer. You're the product. You clearly haven't heard of something called payment for order flow. You know who the customer is at Robinhood or fill in the blank? Ken Griffin at Citadel. Steve Cohen at SAC. Ladies and gentlemen, they are, if you're sitting at a poker table going, I wonder who the idiot is, it's you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are being taken advantage of. I will tell you right now, diversification is for stupid people. Now, if that offends you or that hurts you a little bit, I'm a fighter pilot, man. I'm an options trader. I have little time, and all I have is truth. Diversification is for stupid people. Now, let me back up a little bit, since that might offend some of you, and I'll find an old, nice man to clean that up. You ready? Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. He's like Kamala Harris. He used a lot of words, and I use direct. You're an idiot if you diversify. The only stock you need to own for the rest of your life is Amazon. Sit back and let me tell you why. First of all, political science major, South Jersey, South Philadelphia. I like pictures. Anybody see a trend? Look at the net revenue in billions. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a hockey stick. It is going, I need to update this with the past year and a half. It's going straight up. This stock literally prints money, okay? Look at the annual revenue by segment. I remember, folks, in 2013 when Amazon came out with AWS, Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services, ladies and gentlemen, is now Microsoft. Look at the annual revenues by segment, folks. AWS is filthy printing money. It didn't even exist until 10 years ago, folks. AWS, okay? Now, let me go back real quick and tee up this slide. When you think of like the cloud or storage or online. What do you think? Well, Apple's big cloud, Apple Cloud, or Google. Google's got to own the cloud. Or no, I'm sorry, Microsoft. Microsoft has a big chunk of the cloud. You'd be wrong if you said all of those things. You are completely wrong. You know who owns the cloud? Amazon. Cloud infrastructure services market is dominated by AWS. The silver medalist is Microsoft, then Google. Apple's not even on the screen, folks. Amazon. Wait, I can order a toothbrush and it comes to my door in an hour and they dominate the cloud? Yeah, folks, you want to talk about diversification? You're looking at it, okay? So they own the cloud. Now, I'm going to get political for a second here and laugh. Well, I'll get political in about a minute. Let me delete the word Amazon up here. If you went up to Wiz in the Chicago Board of Trade in 2008, before the financial crisis, and said, hey, Wiz, take a look at this chart, and would you buy this stock? I'd say, okay. I wouldn't put on my glasses since I didn't need them at the time. I will now. I'd look at it and go, oh my God, man, look at the sales. I like this company. Then I would look down here at free cash flow and I'd go, okay, well, that's kind of a big delta between sales and free cash flow, but okay, I'm still digging it. And then I would look down at profit and I would go, I'm going to short this stock. This stock sucks. They don't make any money. And then me today would be broke. I'd be homeless on the street if I shorted this stock. Why? Now I can get political. Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats hate this chart. Why? Jeff Bezos goes, Amazon doesn't make any money, baby. You know what Jeff Bezos does? When he makes a profit, he takes said profit, turns around and dumps it back into the company. He buys a competitor. He puts a competitor out of business. He buys another airplane. He innovates. He does something pretty damn cool. Jeff Bezos doesn't know what the word dividend means. I'm not kidding. He's like, he laughs at it. He's like, what the hell's a dividend? If I make money, if you buy shares of Amazon, you expect me to do smart things. If we make a profit, I'm taking the profit and doing smarter things. A dividend, how stupid can you be? I love it. So Democrats are like, we need to tax Amazon into the dirt. He's like, well, we don't make any money, so suck on that. I absolutely love that. This is how you build a bigger Death Star. You take every penny you make and you put it back into the Death Star and make it bigger. Okay. JG, I think JG's in here with a small account trading Wiz Amazon trades, netted $8,900 in a week. Kristen, and these are all screenshots from our investment club. Kristen, you guys are amazing. I trade a smaller account and have done 22 Amazon trades this year for $31,000 in profit. Christine, month-to-date profits on Amazon, $107,000 with more to go. Thanks, Wiz, for all your expertise and guidance doing day trades with short calls to protect my Amazon long. Learning from the best. And I remember this one. In 3 days, she makes me look like an idiot. In 3 days, I made $90,000 on short calls against her long contracts using my guidance. Now, before I sit here and talk about sunshine and lollipops and unicorns, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an options trader. What are the threats? What are the risks to just trading one stock? Anybody ever hear of a small mom and pop company, Lehman Brothers? A 150-year-old company gone in 48 hours? How about Bear Stearns? Somebody just brought up Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer knows all about Bear Stearns, doesn't he? Do you not remember at the height of the financial crisis? He looked like Khrushchev at the United Nations, a bald guy frothing at the mouth, banging his shoe on the CNBC desk. You're an idiot if you don't put your money in Bear Stearns. Your money's safe with Bear Stearns. A couple days later, it was at zero. Good call, Jim. How about pets.com? How about Enron? Folks, we could spend the next 40 minutes together walking through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero. Stocks can go to zero. Can Amazon go to zero? Possibly. Can it go to zero? It's physically impossible, and I'll tell you why in a second. But what's the common thread through these examples I just used? They didn't own a thing. Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers owned paper, trades, counterparty risk. Pets.com owned a stinky sock and a URL. Enron didn't even own the business they were in, the building. They were a middleman of electricity. I don't even think they knew what they were doing. They didn't own anything, folks. Stocks can go to zero. These names did. Can Amazon? Possibly yes. Physically, no. Why? Amazon owns things. I did consulting years ago south of Miami International Airport at an Amazon fulfillment center. I've been on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier a couple times. I thought that was the most dangerous place on the planet. An Amazon fulfillment center makes that look tame. It was a beehive of activity, robots, humans, and it was massive. Talking about an aircraft carrier, this Amazon fulfillment center made an aircraft carrier look small. They own things. When you own things, the stock can't go to zero. Check this out. Full disclosure, I flew for FedEx for 10 months after I got off active duty in the Navy. I was miserable. I had to commute up to Memphis to, make my trips, and I'd fly from midnight to 8 in the morning and try and sleep in the hotel during the day. Miserable. So, why do I bring this up? Because I left. I went to American. You know my 9/11 story, but I bring this up because one of my buddies stayed at FedEx. He became a trader. He went from being a pilot over to corporate, put on a suit and coat and tie. I bring this up because like 8-10 years ago, this was a while ago, he called me one day. I'm like, holy shit, man, what are you up to? He said, hey, you trade, right? I'm like, yeah, man. He said, who's Jeff Bezos? I'm like, he owns Amazon. Why? Well, that's weird. A buddy of mine at GE Aircraft Leasing just told me that Jeff Bezos is leasing 5 airplanes. And I said, well, he's going to do it. He's going to do what? I said, he's going to put you out of business. He laughed and hung up the phone. Guess who laughed and hung up the phone probably 4 times in the past 3 years? Me back to him. Why? Look at the dates on these headlines. September 7th, 2021. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers in latest move to compete with FedEx and UPS. Amazon poised to pass UPS and FedEx to become the largest delivery driver service. Look at the dates. This was a headline in the Wall Street Journal a year ago. The biggest delivery business in the US is no longer UPS or FedEx. Amazon is eclipsing both carriers, and the gap is growing. You want to talk about putting all your eggs in one basket? Why would you buy FedEx or UPS stock? You're an idiot. Amazon is destroying them. It owns things, fulfillment centers, aircraft, ladies and gentlemen. So can the stock go to zero? Sure, anything can happen. Will it? It's physically impossible, right? FedEx and Amazon discussed a partnership as competition intensified. FedEx went to Amazon begging, please have mercy, and Jeff said no. Amazon says more packages are arriving in a day or less after hefty investment in speedy fulfillment. I remember sitting in FedEx training. I remember hearing the story of the first sort. Fred Smith with 4 pilots and their Falcon jets. Here's your package, you go to Pittsburgh. Here's your package. They were flying like treasury checks or something. The guy had a brilliant idea. 24 hours, I'll get you your package. Overnight, it'll be there. Amazon, hold my beer. You don't want to go to Walgreens or CVS. Everything's locked behind plastic and they look at you like a criminal. You want some shaving cream? Get on Amazon. It'll be there in an hour. Right? And by the way, they're taking over AI. You're speaking of shaving cream behind or razors behind glass at Walgreens. Years ago, I told TGO members, you want to make a killing? Do you want to be a millionaire? Yeah. Get bearish on the pharmacy stocks. Why? Amazon is destroying them. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Rite Aid's out of business. New Amazon clinics are in 50 states. CVS lays off 5,000 employees. You see the news on Walgreens a couple months ago? Look at June. Walgreens plans major U.S. store closures. Pharmacy chain plans to shutter a significant share of its 8,600 stores. Walgreens stock tests lowest levels in decades. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence at doing this stuff, folks. I told you, get bearish on the pharmacies. Amazon Pharma is going to destroy them. I predicted years ago, you're going to get a text that says, hey, go to your front door. Your face is going to get scanned by an Amazon drone. Okay, that's whiz, and drop your prescription in your hand. Or you're going to get a text. You're going to go out of your house or your apartment. There's going to be a blue Amazon van there. No driver, and it's electric. No driver because drivers have to take a leak. They want to eat. They want to unionize. They need health care, and they want a 401k. You're all fired. That's coming. And it'll be an electric vehicle that doesn't need gas. You're going to enter the PIN that you got texted on your phone onto the side of the truck. The door will open and package will pop out. Predicted it, and it's happening. I said that 10 years ago, folks. What do you think about that? Whoa. Uh-oh. Now he's getting even more political. Why is this guy on your screen? I'm talking about threats to just trading one stock, and that stock being Amazon. He is on the screen because there are political risks. Donald Trump, at the beginning of his presidency, woke up one morning, or didn't go to bed, depends on who you believe, because he's on Adderall, grabbed his cell phone and started tweeting. Somebody better break up Amazon. Amazon's a monopoly. Jeff Bezos, the worst. Trust me. Holy crap. What happened to the stock that day? It went down. The president of the United States woke up and blasted this company that it's a monopoly. What happened? Nothing. 3 years later, which would be the end of his presidency, he didn't know it at the time, but 3 years later, woke up, grabbed his cell phone again. Amazon, bigger monopoly, Jeff Bezos, Washington Post, awful, shut them both down. What happened to the stock that day? It went up and never looked back. So yes, there are political risks to just trading Amazon. DOJ this, FTC that, monopoly this, monopoly that, all sorts of stuff, folks. But ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Okay. It is too late. What do I mean it's too late? It's too late. I call Amazon Mercury. If you tried to smash, when you smash Mercury, it creates more Mercury. If you tried to smash Amazon right now you'd make 12 little monopolies. You'd make 12 monopolies. We demand that Amazon Air is its own company. It's destroying FedEx and UPS. We demand that Amazon Pharma is its own company. We just put Rite Aid out of business and we're destroying CVS and Walgreens. We demand that Amazon Prime, your entertainment division, is its own thing. It's bigger than Disney Plus and Netflix combined, folks. You would create. So right now, the parts are worth more than it as a whole. I'd almost prefer it break up and I'd buy the 12 individual stocks, but they're not. The last time I checked, depending on the price of Tesla and Amazon's stock, Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, or one of them. I'm fairly certain he might have 1 or 2 attorneys on his staff. So if or when Uncle Sam goes, we think you're a monopoly and we're coming after you. I already covered this the other day with Microsoft. I'm old enough to remember Standard Oil, Microsoft, AT&T, IBM. It takes anywhere from 5 to 10. The longest I've seen is 15. So let's just say the average is 10. It takes about 10 years of litigation and Uncle Sam poking around in court battles for finally them to go, you know what? And to the Supreme Court to go, you know what? You are kind of a monopoly. Do something about it. Can that happen? Yeah. Will it? I don't think so. Okay. Look at the high level, James Woods. I think he's a great actor. He's an interesting political commentator. But about a year ago, do you remember when it was reported in the media like people were walking into Lululemon in Atlanta and just walking out with hundreds of dollars worth of crap, and the employees like videotaped them to their car, and Lululemon fired the employees. They didn't go to prosecute the shoplifters. They fired the employees. James Woods said, hey, just so everybody understands the game here, Lululemon and these other national brands don't care about theft because the crap is, in fact, virtually worthless, and they would rather sell it online. No fuss, no muss, no employees. When you see the stores locking everything up behind glass and forcing customers to select from a kiosk, it's a way to avoid excessive minimum wages to human workers and lawsuits from all the sales staff loonies who weren't addressed by their mythical pronouns. Invest in Amazon, folks. Pretty soon, it'll be your only marketplace left. You can agree or disagree. It's the truth. Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you, folks. I'm bipolar, and so am I. I'll tell you how I feel as Wiz. I can't stand Jeff Bezos. He's a limousine liberal. He makes my skin crawl. Right? However, I'll take off that flight suit and put on a $10,000 Armani suit and say, good. He fires employees that want to unionize. He pays them crap, and he's ruthless. Yes. Just like Gordon Gekko said in the movie Wall Street, if you want a friend, get a dog. I'm here to help you make money. So Amazon, to me personally, is a hold your nose trade. I can't stand the guy. I can't stand Amazon. If you want a friend, get a dog. All right. So here we go. Did you see you guys saw that quote though by James Woods, right? I'm sorry, the screen was frozen. But that's the James Wood quote, folks. It's perfect. Invest in Amazon. It's the only marketplace you'll have left. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. So here's what we're going to do. Real quick, though, the benefits of just trading Amazon in this case or a single stock are what? Well, folks, you're trading the same name and you potentially profit no matter what direction Amazon goes, up, down, or sideways. You stay focused on the news and events impacting Amazon instead of scattered. You become an expert in Amazon, reducing time spent on other positions, right? Let me tell you a quick story of a doctor buddy of mine here in Boca. Went out to Starbucks because he called me. He's like, dude, I hear you're a good trader. You heard right. I'm swamped. I need your help. I'm like, all right, man, let's go meet at Starbucks. Can't stand Starbucks. We met there. I'm glad he's a doctor. Why? Because he booted up his computer, opened his brokerage account, turned the laptop around to me, and I saw 33 positions. Why am I glad he's a doctor? I think I passed out and hit my head and almost died. This guy works 8 12-hour days, office hours, surgeries. He's like, yeah, in between visits, I'm like looking at my phone, trying to trade and stuff. I'm like, oh, what is this? He's like, well, let me show you. The first name here, I think it's a pot stock. I'm like, did you just say you think it's a pot stock? Well, yeah. Well, okay. This one's a surgical stock, and my buddy got me into it. It's down 50%. When it gets back to where I bought it, I'm going to get out of it. I'm like, whoa. Doc, you're a doc, right? Yeah. That means you should have some sort of intelligence. Yeah. Do the math, Einstein. The stock's down 50% from where you bought it. What's it have to do to get back up? I'm like, you know what? Never mind. We're not even going to go through the rest of these stocks. You right now are going to shit can every one of these stocks, and you're going to buy Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, that man, I get a nice Christmas present every year. He could not be more happy in his life. The other day in the welcome aboard brief, I showed you a picture of my trading firm in Chicago. We had a research desk. And when I say desk, it had 25 people, right? It's like half a football field. That's on the trading floor, the desk, it was massive. 25 analysts. Okay. A senior analyst had 3. I think the most senior analyst had 5 names they had to know like the back of their hand. A junior analyst, 1, maybe 2. They had to eat, breathe, and sleep that name. They had to know everything about it. Do you know how many times I got up and walked over to that desk and looked at one of the analysts like, hey, did you see the news on whatever? Yeah, isn't that your name? You're supposed to know everything about it. And, we're losing money right now and you didn't know this was going to happen. So let me ask you a question. Retail trader with 5, 7, 10, 33 positions in your brokerage account. How do you do it? You don't do it well, I guarantee you. I do this for a living and I got about 3 to 5 names and it's a shitload for me to do. Ladies and gentlemen, simplify your trading cockpit, okay? Now, if you're sitting here, let me go back real quick. If you're sitting here going, he's talking to me. I don't sit here for 12 hours a day. I don't know every name in my brokerage firm like the back of my hand. That's kind of bad. It is. If you're sitting here going, he's preaching my language. But Wiz, unfortunately, day one, I got bit in the neck by the broker. I have running through my veins, must diversify, does not compute just to buy one thing. Let me lay this on you. If you got bitten by the diversification vampire, we also can trade XLY. Ladies and gentlemen, XLY is the consumer discretionary. It's an ETF. I have a good buddy that says shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. The XLY is a vehicle for eating Amazon. This ETF has, let's just round up, a quarter of this ETF is Amazon. Now look at the other names: Tesla, Home Depot, McDonald's, Lowe's, TJX, Booking, Starbucks, Nike. Love me some Chipotle. Long-term bullish on Chipotle. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting here going, holy crap, this could really simplify my life. Can ETFs go to zero? Of course they can. Will it? Of course it won't. So how about just trading Amazon? Or if you feel I have to diversify, you trade the ETF. Okay. All right, here we go. So here's how we target Amazon and XLY for max profit. Step 1, right now, not right now, in about 3 minutes, we're going to go into the brokerage account and we're going to be a Marine. We're going to establish a beachhead, a base position. We're going to fly all the way out into the future. I'm going to answer Greg's question about the difference between a leap and synthetic stock. I'm going to show you a tactic called synthetic stock. We're going to trade all the way out, I think 2 or 3 years into the future on Amazon. And then after we put our synthetic stock on, what are we going to trade? The front month. What's a front month? You're sitting in a front month, folks. September, October, November. So technically on your screen right now, we have 2 positions. 1 name, but 2 trades. Long-term bullish on Amazon, short-term fill in the blank. Hey, Amazon's going up. Wiz, the Santa Claus rally you talked about. Great. We'll trade some bullish spreads or some long calls. Uh-oh, Amazon's going down. No, uh-oh. As an options trader, I can make money if Amazon's going down. Do some bearish spreads or buy some puts. Uh-oh, Amazon's doing nothing. We won't make any money. Wrong. We covered in Amazon Iron Condor already. You can make money as Amazon moves sideways. Okay, here we go. Sit up straight. The tactic I'm going to introduce you to is called synthetic stock. So let's go pull up Amazon. Okay. So, and Amazon, a little bit of a pullback. Let's go look. Down to the bottom of the range. Last time we hit the bottom of that range, it bounced. Right now, let's talk about trade management. If you are in the iron condor that I covered the other day, what should you do right now? Somebody help me with managing the Amazon trade. What do you do to your Amazon iron condor right now? Well, first of all, you could do nothing, but then you'd be a failure. What should you do? Somebody tell me so I can drink some water. That's exactly right. Your bear call spread, I guarantee you, is looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit. The bear call spread that we added up here. Close it. Or roll it down a couple bucks, right? Trade management. I don't want to get into that. I want to stick with our synthetic stock. But looking at Amazon right now, that is what I would do. That's exactly right. Close the bear call spread. And then looks like 190 support, folks, and we're getting a strong bounce off of that. Take profits on a profitable trade, period. All right, here we go. Synthetic stock. At the top here, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to trading options, these are the expiration dates. An option is nothing but a contract. Literally in the old days in the pits, it was a contract. Instead of, well, let's start with the most basic thing for folks who are new to options. If you wanted to buy 100 shares of Amazon today, it's 19 grand. Liz, I love what you're saying about Amazon. I want to buy 100 shares of Amazon. Great. 19,000 bucks. How many of you have 19,000 bucks to buy 100 shares of Amazon? Using options, ladies and gentlemen, one option contract equals 100 shares of stock. Back in the day, a bunch of white dudes in Chicago with cigars in the back room going, I don't want to waste all this money. Why don't we, you know what? Why don't we have like an option to control 100 shares for the next 3 years? Dude, that's brilliant. Options. Let's make call options. So we can, in our time machine, fly all the way out to Jan of 2027. Okay, so let's pull up that option years into the future. Do you know right now, what is the average holding time of a stock? The last time I looked at this research, probably a couple of years ago, it was like 10 months. It's under a year now. This is not your father and mother stock market. Very rarely are people buying and holding a stock. In the old days, you got share certificates you put in a shoebox in your closet. So, folks, the average holding time, I think, is down from like 18 months to like under a year. So we could go all the way out to Jan of 2027 and get long-term bullish on Amazon. Right now, folks, Amazon's trading at 190. There's a 190 strike right here. Right here. You see the 190 strike? These are puts and these are calls. We could buy what is called an at-the-money call option, right? 190 at the money would be the 190 call option. We could buy one Jan 27 190 call. We would control those 100 shares of stock for the next 3.5 years. 2.5 years, whatever it is. How much would that cost, Wiz? $4,400. All my stock traders in the room, would you rather come out of pocket $19,000 today or $4,400? You're essentially saving $15,000 by buying a single call option. You could take the 15 grand and go do other stuff with it. I have no idea why people trade stocks. Well, I do, because they're ignorant and they have no idea what options are. Okay. Now, I'm going to lower that cost even more. We are going, so Greg, to your question, this would be a leap. Buying a single call option at the money. This. Greg, I'm cheap, baby. I don't want to spend $4,400. Let me make this even cheaper. The tactic I'm going to introduce to you right now is called synthetic stock. Let's define synthetic stock before we move forward. With synthetic stock, you are going to be just like you're a shareholder, long stock. We're going to use options. So what don't you get when you trade synthetic stock? You get two things that I don't care about, especially with Amazon. The first thing you don't get is the right to vote. You're not a shareholder. You don't own the 100 shares. The last time I checked, Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife probably have one or two more shares than you do as a shareholder. So your vote might not be that significant, right? It's so stupid. When I used to own stocks and I'd get like a shareholder thing in the mail, like vote for whatever. It's like I own like 10 shares of this stock, man. You ready? So the first thing you don't get with synthetic stock is the right to vote. I don't give a shit. The second thing you don't get with synthetic stock, I also don't give a shit about because Jeff Bezos doesn't either. You don't get a dividend. What's the dividend with Amazon, folks? 0.0. The word dividend makes Jeff Bezos shake. It's a waste. What are you talking about, dividend? So that you are losing nothing. Actually, you are gaining $15,000 by doing what I'm going to show you. Okay. So for those of you who kind of know options a little bit, you followed me. Buy a single contract of the 190 call, 4,400 bucks. When you buy a call, you're bullish. Now, when you buy a put, most of you know you're bearish. I think Tesla's going to go down. I'm going to buy a put. Buying a put, you're bearish. Somebody is on the other side of that trade. They have to sell you that put. The person selling you the put is what? Bullish. Tesla ain't going down. I'll sell you that put. Same thing with Amazon. So why don't we sell an at the money put? Why don't we sell the 190 put? That makes us bullish. Ladies and gentlemen, 15, I'm going to show you the picture in a second here. 1,500 bucks. Okay, let me step back real quick. Let me look at the chart of a long call, right? Why isn't this doing this? Analyze. There we go. Let me zoom out. Right? This is the chart of a long call, right? This thing's got to move. It's got to be up there, man. We need to see some movement. Okay? Your max potential loss is what? I paid 4,400 bucks for this call option. If Amazon implodes, I lose 4,400 bucks. If you bought 100 shares, you lose 19 grand if Amazon went to zero. Okay, so let's remember this. The most I can lose is 4,400 bucks if I just buy the long call. Now, let's add the short put. We're going to sell an at the money put. I went from 19 grand buying 100 shares to 4,400 bucks by just buying a call option. Now it's $1,500 to be in synthetic stock. Let me show you the picture. Does anybody know what this P&L diagram is? Long stock. Here's your options position. It's the exact same trade. You are long stock in Amazon right now, synthetically. Isn't this incredible? 1,500 bucks you're coming out of pocket. Okay. Now, the people who are about to get a gold star are the people who look over here and go, whoa, 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 whiz. The risk went from 4,400 bucks to like 20,000 bucks. Why? What is the max potential loss based off of? Amazon going to zero. If you bought 100 shares of Amazon today, folks, what's your max potential loss? Amazon going to zero, 19 grand. You have the same risk profile as if you bought the shares. Look at the probability of Amazon going to zero. It's 0.00. Now, I know I've done the math 20 years ago. I think I did the math. It's like 15 decimal points and a 1. The odds of getting killed by a golden retriever are never zero. There is always a probability, right? So even though I know a lot of people at E-Trade, can't pick up the phone and call their risk management department and go, fellas, ladies, Amazon ain't going to zero in the next 2.5 years. Come on, don't margin me. Don't haircut. It's called haircut. Don't haircut my account at this max potential loss. Click. They won't even take my call. So here's what I do. I put what is called a disaster put underneath the stock. What's a disaster? On CNBC or whatever, or in the market, you hear people say what? The S&P is down 20% from its highs. We are in a bear market. Or, God forbid, hey, Amazon's down 20% off its highs. It's in a bear market. So why don't we buy what I call a protective put or a disaster put 20% under the stock price? Let's just round up Amazon too, because I like round numbers. 19 and 19 is what? 38. What's 190? Let's just say it's 50, 150. Why don't we buy a 150 put? It's called a protective put. And I'll talk about this in a second more in detail. Let's just stick with the math. So the cost of the trade went up a little bit from $1,500 to $2,800 because we're buying some insurance underneath it. So instead of 19 grand or $4,400 or 15, why don't we get a little protection and it'll bring the price up to $2,800? Now, the risk of the synthetic stock without the protective put was what? $20,400. Now, let's take a look at the max potential loss. $6,800. You're welcome. My call sign's Wiz. I reduced the max potential loss. Amazon's not going to zero, folks, but some of you might have a margin account. Now, you don't have to have the $6,800 in your account, folks. I forget what the margin requirements are on this. It might be $1,000 or $2,000. Okay, you got to figure that out. Everybody in this room probably has different margin requirements with different brokers. Okay. Greg, sweet. I like the synthetic stock tactic, not a strategy, but does the broker place the sell put obligation? No, Greg, nope. And some people look at this as in an interesting way. It's a wide, look at this. This right here is like a wide bull put spread, isn't it? You sold this put, you bought this put. So some people look at it like this. It's a bull put spread, Wiz, that's pretty wide to help, which is a credit spread, right? To fund the long call purchase. Somebody mentioned that to me like a year ago. They're like, that's a wide bull put spread that you make money, you bring in money to use to fund the long call. Yeah. Now, let me do something even cooler. And let's talk about the management of the put. I've been doing synthetic stocks for decades. Only one time in my synthetic stock trading career has the disaster put turned green. Like it was showing a profit because the name was going down. You know what name it was? Apple. I had synthetic stock on Apple years ago, like 10 years ago, when it broke 100. Do you remember that? I think even Jim Cramer was like, "Oh, Apple's dead." It broke 100, but I had a disaster put at 90. What did I do? So the disaster put acts like a warning light in your cockpit. Hey, man, your disaster put's green right now. Should I eject from this trade or do what I did? It was Apple. The disaster put was green, and I'm like, it's Apple, man. So I closed the disaster put for some profit and got even longer on Apple. So you only do synthetic stock, ladies and gentlemen, on a name that you know is going to go up and to the right over the next 2-3 years. Does that make sense? So the disaster put helps you out with margin, haircut, and it helps you in case it turns green. Okay. So on your screen right now, synthetic stock with a protective put. Here's what we can do I'm gonna pay this trade off in a couple months, 6 months. This trade is gonna be free. Woo, what? What we can do now is trade the front months. Let's go out to Friday. One night, let's sell. We can sell. Look at this. A front month. What's Friday? September 20th. Why don't we sell a close to at the money call out to Friday? We could sell the 192.5 call option. Look at that. I just brought in $100 or whatever it was. Ladies and gentlemen, you can sell. We got a long-term bullish trade all the way out into the future on Amazon, but we can sell a front month out to Friday, next Friday, call against the long position. You can do this every week. Every week, sell a front month call against your position and lower that cost basis. Isn't this freaking awesome? I'm going to grab a screenshot of this and just send this. Make sure we've already put synthetic stock on a couple times in the past couple months. This is for people. If you're joining Solo Amazon today, this is the trade I would put on today for Amazon. And I'll answer all the questions. Isn't it cool? Yeah. Julie, I've never seen this before. Thank you. You are welcome. I love doing this. Now you have got to manage that front month call, folks. You do not want Friday coming and that short call expiring in the money. You run the risk of being assigned some short shares. I want to answer all these questions and we can talk about that stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to cover this tactic called synthetic stock. We did synthetic stock on Amazon after that earnings implosion. Let's go look at the chart. Yeah, I'm building up to it, man. I'll give you the link in a second to join Solo Amazon. Yes, it's not part of Full Throttle. Folks, the last Solo Amazon brief I did after earnings, look at this earnings drop. It went down to 152. We did synthetic stock up here at 155. You've made $40 in the synthetic stock trade, folks. And Amazon's going to, over the next 2.5 years, folks, Amazon's a $300. It's a $300 stock. This trade, folks, coming out of pocket, $2,800. If Amazon continues to go up and to the right, you potentially could have a 6-figure profit in 2.5 years. Most of these synthetic stock trades for a low, this isn't weekly options. This isn't, iron condors in the front months. This is in the background, man. Slow and steady wins the race. But in about 2 to 2.5 years, this could potentially be a 6-figure profitable trade. So, Scott, yeah, for the $100,000 model portfolio, I'd probably go up to about 3. 2 to 3. 2 would be right around spending $5,000, but based on a $100,000 model portfolio, I would personally do 3. In one of my wife's accounts, we have synthetic stock. I think it's 5 contracts though, Scott, because we got into it down here. So anywhere from 3 to 5, I would do based on a $100,000 model portfolio. And Scott, if you did 3 to 5 contracts, I almost guarantee when this trade is close to expiration, you're looking at over $100,000 in profit. I showed you the case studies from some of my current members, folks. These trades, like I said, it's not me shooting a bear call spread right now in the S&P 500 that expires this afternoon. I put on synthetic stocks on solid names out into the future, and they sit in the background and they just print money. I'm going to remind you, do not do synthetic stocks on names that you don't even know if they're going to be around in a couple of years, or they're really volatile, right? Microsoft, what did I tell you at the beginning of the week? When in doubt, run the Ma, Microsoft and Amazon. Angel, I haven't looked at Walmart in years. I can't even. Angel said, what about doing this with Walmart? So let me immediately answer your question. Yeah, you could do synthetic stock on any name that you feel is going to be around in a couple years and is moving up and to the right. Holy crap, I haven't looked at Walmart in a long time. This looks like a good synthetic stock candidate. Okay, look at that. So yeah, Angel, you could, folks, the way I mapped out this tactic is exactly how you would do it with another name. Same thing I did, Angel, with Amazon. You fly into the future, you do the same exact steps that I just showed you with Amazon. Absolutely. I haven't looked at Walmart in ages, so thank you for drawing my attention to it. Chipotle, 1000% would do that. Same thing. And look at Chipotle. Rip your face off rally the past year and a half, bounced off half the gap. This is a great entry point for Chipotle. So yes, absolutely. I would do this with Chipotle. Yep. Isn't this cool? Yeah, you're welcome. Folks, this is, and I did that in what? 15 minutes maybe? When you join Solo Amazon today, get in the options weapon school training and go watch the longer synthetic stock brief, folks. Okay? Instead of doing it in 20 minutes, I take about an hour because I'm running out of time. But I definitely cover, hey, how to manage the short calls in the front week, okay? Front month. Okay. Greg, do you sell your synthetic stock if you sense a market correction or bear correction? Greg, here's your immediate answer. It depends. The last time we had a bear market, Amazon, Amazon is starting to be like a Procter and Gamble or a McDonald's. What do I mean by that? It's a recessionary. Money has to flow somewhere. So in the market, if there is going to be a pullback, I ran the bonus committee at my firm for 2 years in a row. You don't award bonuses to traders or fund managers who are sitting in cash. So if or when the market starts to pull back, money flows somewhere, folks, and it's usually out of what? High flying names or an Nvidia or risky stuff, and money flows into what? Ma. When in doubt, run to Ma, Microsoft and Amazon. Fund managers, hedge fund managers, institutions, the money ends up flowing into names that are printing money, that are safe. So while Amazon might not be immune to some sort of bear market or whatever correction, it's going to get less hammered. We've seen this over the history. So I almost, and if anything, when we all got locked up, thank you, US government, on COVID, Amazon was filthy. The market was getting destroyed and Amazon was printing money. So I like the way you're thinking, but in bear markets, money flows somewhere. And if Amazon is going down, what do? We trade bearish spreads on it, right? Doug, you can play with a shorter term put if you'd like to. I get into that in the training. Okay. All right, folks. Solo Amazon. It's our newest service outside of Full Throttle. All the other Full Throttle briefs are, if you didn't want to join Full Throttle, but you still want to kind of do a gateway drug, Solo Amazon's $970 a year. Full Throttle's $29.95, or it's $97 a month. I don't drink anymore, but I used to say that's a cheap bottle of wine. If you do an annual membership, folks, if you do an annual membership, I'll give you, you'll get 2 months free. Okay. Let me give you the link right now. Solo Amazon, one more time, I'm going to remind you, is not part of Full Throttle. It's called Solo Amazon. It's its own standalone service. Okay. Let me go grab the link here. Solo Amazon. Oh, it's on it. Solo Amazon, $97 a month. Ain't no surprise next month it went from 97 bucks to 10 grand a month. No, folks, it's 97 bucks a month for the rest of your life. That's kind of stupid though. Why would you do 97 bucks a month when you can get essentially 2 months free and do the annual? Folks, if you do an annual, it's $970. Just about everybody in Solo Amazon is in the annual. But if you're still a tire kicker, even though you joined me for 4 days of live trading and you see how I shuck and jive and trade, and you still want to see more, join it for 97 bucks a month. That's on you. I have utterly failed if by now you're not like, you know what, I want to join this and I want to do an annual. because I like saving money. That's the better trade, folks, is the annual membership. So there's the link right there, okay? Close to 100 grand in profit year to date just in Amazon, folks. Harmar made 200 grand in Amazon on 20 call contracts. I love that. Kevin, Amazon synthetic stock, late to enter, up 200%, paid 8 grand. So Greg, there you go. Kevin, it came out of pocket 8. He's up 24. Up 70 with a single contract. Scott, hey, Wiz, up 20 grand on my calls this week. I've never been there. Patience, persistence. Thanks, TGO. Dennis, Wiz, update on my Amazon synthetic call from Solo Amazon. It's no longer up 100 grand on one contract. It's now up 127. My. Isn't that awesome? Wiz, I know you do your Solo Amazon briefs every Monday at 10 a.m. I can't attend. Folks, 80% of TGO members work. You get time-sensitive alerts. I showed you. You got an app. You boink. Wiz just placed a new Solo Amazon trade. I also send out an email alert too, in case you're a technology rock and still look at emails. People, it's 2024, folks. We have apps, but I do both. So you don't have to be here live, folks. You know, about 30 minutes after the brief, I post the replay on the Solo Amazon member page, okay, with the screenshot of the trades that I just showed you. Okay, so a lot of folks work. You get email alerts, you get the app, you get the replay. Look at Chris. I'm so geeked. I've been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you from the replays. That's pretty awesome. Today, folks, if you join Full Throttle, you already got your manuals, but if you're just looking at joining Solo Amazon, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw in the manuals that are worth $197, ladies and gentlemen. $197 for. So for the political science majors like me, let me help you with math. It's $97 a month. He just gave me manuals for $197. So I just made $100. Yes. Political science majors unite. You keep these, folks. If you do 97 for your first month and say this guy's a complete idiot, you keep the manuals. You made money. You made $100. So get in here now. So here's what you get today. Access to the brief every Monday at 10 a.m. The app and the email alerts. You get your manuals and you get access. Sandra, I'm answering your question. You get access to the Ready Room. You, as a Solo Amazon member, if you got a question for me, you get over here and you go in what is called the Ready Room. Ready? Groups. The Ready Room. You get in here and you can ask me questions, I post my intel in here. You can ask questions, everything. See that? Jan's in here, Amazon. Yeah. So that's where you go, Sandra. If you're in Solo Amazon, there's 493 members over here, folks. This is where you go, Sandra, if you have any questions about Solo Amazon or your Amazon positions. Okay. Obviously, the hunters you get access to if you did the annual Full Throttle membership. Paul's in here. Paul just got married. He's back in here trading. Dennis, Bob, you want to join Full Throttle, folks, but I'm showing you Amazon stuff. So yeah, Sandra, awesome. Answer your question. Great. Okay, so you get the manuals, folks, right? Pretty damn cool. All right, so I'll answer more questions in a second. So I already showed you what you get. Let me rip through that real quick. You get that stuff. I'm not going to show you more case studies, folks. This ain't hard. Let me just start with that. If you only want to test fly it for a month, it's $97. I already gave you the link. I strongly recommend you do the annual. Now, I feel like the Flex Seal Tape guy, but wait, there's more. There absolutely is more. Do not do this, folks. When you buy something on Amazon, what's it say to you? Hey, people also bought this. Would you like this? I just did the same thing. If you just buy Solo Amazon today, you didn't do your Full Throttle, you're not ready for it yet or whatever, take the Options Weapons School upsell. It's $297 to get access to the 5 training sessions. Do not do this. Take your $97 a month or your $970 for the year and take the training. If you don't, you're an idiot. I don't care if you're a Jedi Master. I know what I'm doing trading options. I'll make you better. I guarantee it. I have options Jedi Masters like, dude, I never looked at it that way. I'm glad I took the training. Duh. Take the training for 297. Any questions on that? It's for you. It ain't for me, man. I do go reread my manuals. I go back and listen to some of my old lectures and go, wow, I forgot I used to tell people that, and I'm going to knock the rust off. Take the options weapons school training. I'm not going to foot stomp anymore. Utah. This guy was a Blue Angel. He's a FedEx captain. Didn't know what the word option meant a couple months ago. Was on a layover in Fort Lauderdale. We went out to lunch. Gave him a quick brief. Started solo Amazon in full throttle. Good morning. Less than 20 trading days. I'm up 15 grand on a 40 grand account. I'm like, well, shit, bro. If anyone can do it, if you can do it, anyone can do it. Most people would kill for a 38% return in a year. He was getting that in 20 days. Love me some Utah. Mark Provo. Okay. Another case study. I don't care. Like I said, all the other stuff, if you value stack it, since in primary and AR, we look at psychedelic stocks, we look at trading volatility, we look at the S&P 500, we look at Starbucks, we look at Chipotle. Those briefs are more expensive. I'm doing more work. This one is cheaper since we're just trading Amazon and maybe XLY, right? $970 a year or $97 a month. Folks, if you didn't learn anything today, I clearly failed. You should have learned this. Do yourself a favor. Go debrief yourself, so to speak. Look at your brokerage account. Are you flying around this market in an F4 Phantom with 33 positions? Hopefully you're not like my buddy Doc. He isn't like that anymore. He's been trading Amazon for 10 years. He's like, dude, I cannot believe I started my trading career with like thinking I needed all these names all over the place. Do not diversify, folks. The only two stocks or the only stock you need to own is Amazon. And if you need to diversify, get you some XLY. All right. Let me go scroll up and take a look. Yeah, I gave you the link. This is the full throttle link. And it says it right here, folks. It's flashing at you. Solo Amazon is not included in full throttle. You can add it. So if you're ready right now, this is our last brief of the week. I'm done until I think the next full throttle is like November, December. So we're done. I close the doors. I don't like a zoo in our trading services. I take our people and we get airborne. So if you want to do full throttle, there's your annual. You get access to our investment club, the Hunters, or do the monthly Hunters. Not cheap. Some people do it for a couple months and then upgrade because they want to check out the investment club, the Hunters. You do not get access to the investment club if you do full throttle monthly. Okay. So yeah, I just gave you the link for full throttle, but you can add your solo Amazon on the full throttle order form. Okay. There's your one-stop page. Okay. Solo Amazon is right here. $97 a month or $970 for the year. All right, yeah, I will. I'll let me scroll up and answer questions here. James, the discount code for Maverick Mind is always 30. Always 30. I'm glad somebody asked about that. So folks, I go watch the replay from yesterday, but I gave a little brief on psychedelics, but also on microdosing. It's all the rage. We have our own line of microdosing products. Morning brief. I took my morning brief this morning. I feel fantastic, nice. I just feel great. If I feel crappy, I feel less crappy. That is what microdosing can do for you. I take my night trap about an hour before bed, man, and I sleep like a baby. 5 days on, I take the weekends off. 5 days on, 2 days off. I shared several articles yesterday about microdosing in the Wall Street Journal, man. CNBC, everybody, it's all the rage, microdosing. It ain't a rage, folks. This can potentially not potentially, it helps me and it helps tens of thousands, maybe even millions of Americans. Get off the SSRIs, get off the bullshit. There is no money in healing, folks. There's no money with big pharma. So anybody, that was all covered yesterday. Let me give you the replay page. Watch yesterday's replay if to get the psychedelic brief. Here's the replay page. But yeah, always 30. Please don't post that on social media or like, hey, I got the discount code for, it's for my family and friends, man. That's not a charity. That's a business. But I hook my TGO members up. I hook you up with investment opportunities and stuff like that. Hey, before I forget, angels, my initial angels into our production. Did everybody get get the email last night? Did I miss anybody? Anybody, if you are an angel, did you not get an email from me last night? I want to make sure that you got my email with a nice update. Any questions on that? Let me pull that email up just to show you what it looks like if you're a angel. Harry, you didn't get it? Harry, what is your email? I blasted it out to thought everybody, man. Harry, what's your email? I'll forward it to you right now. Really good news. So folks, we have a sorry about that, Harry. I will add you to my list. Control V. Sent. So why am I rambling about this? Because whether it's Maverick Mind or our streaming, so we got good news, Harry. We're funded, and I think we're shooting No Fallen Heroes Extraction. Production will roll first quarter of 2025 with the targeted launch of the platform by Labor Day. So Harry, give that a read when you get a chance. Whether it's Maverick Mind or the Healing Realty Trust or streaming, if you join Top Gun Options, you get access to some pretty cool opportunities. Really, really, really good stuff going on. That's the power of Top Gun Options, baby. We do a lot of good stuff here. And obviously, you know, a lot of you support our healing efforts in the foundation there. Before I go, this headline made me sick this morning. I thought this was satire. I thought this was like the Babylon Bee or the Onion or something. Veterans could get free gun safes under suicide prevention proposal. Here's how the government wants to fight veteran suicide. We'll give them a free gun safe. Maybe I should change. I'll write the IRS and say, hey, can I update the charter of my nonprofit? Instead of just helping veterans heal with psychedelics, I'll give them a gun safe. Then can you support our efforts? This makes me physically, it's not even funny. We're not going to treat the symptoms or the root causes of why our veterans are suffering. We'll send them a gun safe. Things, when I read things like this, man, I read this morning with my cup of coffee. I'm like, I'm done. I need to go meditate. Let me take my Maverick Mind. I can't even, this doesn't even process to me. This congressman in this article are like, wow, veteran suicide's a big deal in the country. Let's give them a gun safe. I'm like, I can't even, do you know what we're doing? Past couple of years, we've helped around 50 veterans, first responders, and family members heal. Not one person, knock on wood, has come back from a No Fallen Heroes retreat or grant recipient say, that was a waste. I feel worse. That sucked. Not one. Every grant recipient has come home and said, that saved or changed my life. The retreats I don't go on, I guarantee you, I get a text. I sit here and I know it too. I'm like, oh, the retreat is ending today. Buzz. My cell phone starts buzzing. Whiz, thank you. I don't want to kill myself anymore. Could you imagine getting a text from somebody that says, I thank you. I don't want to kill myself anymore. But here's our federal government. We'll give them gun safes. What did Ronald Reagan say? Government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. Ugh. All right, I went way too long. Again, my apologies. Next week, if you joined, next week the shit's tight, man. Our briefs are on time and everything like that. But during my free week, I gotta do all my dog and pony stuff here. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, uh, before I jumped on, it was 7. So you probably have time today. I don't know. I mean, my fun. There was 3 annuals that went during the brief. So there were 4 full throttle memberships left. We will close the doors if we do not when we get our 50. So yeah. Anything else? I got a bump here. Scott, I didn't place that Amazon synthetic because I have like 3 of them going already. I'm not that's for new people. Oh, let me go post that real quick. Somebody asked, hey, can I see the screenshot of that again? Let me do that. I'll post it in the hunters. So Scott, I don't add new positions if I already have the existing one. I have synthetic stock like down at 140 from a year ago that's printing money. So, oh, and by the way, at everyone, hang on one second. Let me post this to our hunters before I forget. I was going to talk about managing that trade and it just flew out of my head. What the hell was I about to say? So new Amazon synthetic stock at everyone. I'll just say that too. I didn't add. This is for new solo Amazon members, something like that. So like I said, I'm like, this is the trade I would do if I was new to solo Amazon. Does anybody need that? I think somebody asked for that up at the top. Let me go open my desktop here. Here's the trade. Remember what you're looking at me at right now? There's a little camera icon at the top. Click the camera icon right now. Oh, that's what I was going to say, Scott. You have to walk this trade on up to get filled. What does that mean? You're never going to get filled at the bid, obviously. This is a debit spread, folks, right? You're coming out of pocket. No way you're going to get filled at the bid. No way you're going to get filled at the mid. There is a magical happy place, Disney. There's a magical happy place between the mid and the ask where you'll get filled. I call it walking it on up. I will start somewhere between the mid and the ask and place the order. If I don't get filled, I get up, I go walk around the neighborhood, I go get a new cup of coffee, and I come back. If I'm still not filled, I'll roll it up a little bit, the price up. How much? I don't know, a nickel, 10 cents. You have to kind of creep it up and you'll eventually get filled. Now, reminder, folks, the dude, the lady, the machine on the other side of your trade is not going to fill you and they will be losing money. You will get filled on a synthetic stock and you'll probably see, it's already down a little bit. Does that make sense? Nobody on the other side of this trade is going to fill you for a loss on their end. It's a debit spread. I cover all this stuff in the options weapons school training, folks. I don't need to keep talking. I've talked enough. Any other questions, concerns? You're welcome. Yeah, man, nobody else does this. Nobody does full throttle. Nobody opens up their stuff. The random people that kind of open for a week of training, they charge you. They charge you like $495 to join for the week. I'm like, whoa. If you were proud of your product, you would show everything for free. And then if they want to join, they join. I go through phases though. My marketing folks are like, you do way too much free stuff in full throttle. Maybe I'll cut it down in the future to 1 day or something like that. I don't know. But I enjoy doing this, man. I just kind of love it. You bet, Renato. All right, folks, I'm done. Full throttle, Q, whatever we're in the books. We're done. If you don't join, we'll get airborne without you. So last question. Somebody snuck a couple in there. In solo Amazon, do you show how to manage the weekly short call? Shauna, absolutely. That's what we do every Monday in the live trade briefs. Absolutely. And in the hunters and the max afterburn of the lifetime group, I post all of my adjustments. Hey, I'm rolling it up or closing it, or yeah, everything's posted. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys, I got to go. I'll get the replay posted on the replay page shortly, and also the member page. If you've joined, you'll be able to go watch this replay on the member page in about 30 minutes, right? Right here underneath Solo Amazon, right down there. All the replays are posted. That's where you join the brief for Monday. To join Monday's brief, folks, click on Solo Amazon, Monday at 10 a.m. And then the replay from today will be posted here shortly. All right, guys, I had a good time this week. If you didn't learn anything, I suck, but hopefully you learned at least something. David, keep in mind how many long-term customers always join you on these. David, that makes my heart smile. It cracks me up. It doesn't crack me up. It makes my heart smile that current members who've been here forever still come to the training. Well, it's probably because they either learned something or we're covering new trades. So yeah, David, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for your support and your thanks for your service. All right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. We are. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. Wiz out. I'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend. Go Buffs. Sco Buffs.